Welcome to the stage the Armenian Director and Diocesan Legate of the Armenian Orthodox Church, Archbishop Aykazian.
I want to express my gratitude to Ambassador Rambeck for the opportunity to address this important gathering today. I speak to you in my capacity as a long-time actor in the World Ecumenical Interfaith Relations, who has had the honor of serving as the past president of National Council of Churches and as a present board member to both National Council of Churches and World Council of Churches. For the Armenian Christians, our most vivid experience of persecution came in the early decades of 20th century in the Armenian genocide. That was surely the greatest expression of crude physical persecution, with the entire Armenian population of Ottoman Turkey uprooted from its homeland of centuries, marched into deportations, exile, and annihilation in what would later be termed the first modern genocide. More than 1.5 million Armenians perished and hundreds of thousands scattered across the globe. Armenians shared this fate with other Christian minorities, Greek, Syriac, and other Christians who were systematically targeted for the removal by the Ottoman authorities. But it's important to note that prior to the extreme persecution of genocide, Armenians and other Christians were subjected to laws and regulations in the Ottoman Empire, placing special burdens on them, erecting barriers to daily activities like worship and commerce, and forcing them into a subordinate status before the law whenever they were placed in opposition to Islamic majority. On the eve of 1915, there were 2,650 Armenian churches and monasteries spread out over the breadth of Anatolia. A little over a century later, nearly all of these have been destroyed, either actively or by forced neglect, to the extent that number of Armenian churches left in modern Turkey number only a few dozen. To give you one more example, the Nakhichevan is another small region which belonged to Armenia up to 1930, after which was given to Azerbaijan by Stalin. In that small enclave of Armenia, we had about 5,800 cross stones. Cross stones are carved with the cross and other Christian symbols. There are no other nation that has ever engraved their faith in a stone as the Armenians. In the same place, there are about 22,000 tombstones that were all destroyed, and 89 churches within 30 years from 1990 to 2020. Sadly, what happened in Nakhichevan in the late 20th century is going on right now, 2 decades into the 21st century, in the region known as Nagorno-Karabakh. That region, historically recognized as the ancient Armenian province of Artsakh, but it was placed within the border of Azerbaijan in the 1930s, in one of the many injustices of the Soviet period. Karabakh was home to 4,000 cultural and religious sites, churches, fortresses, and monuments, many representing exquisite level of artistry and sophistication. Tragically, the recent brutal war in Karabakh during the fall of 2020 has undone much of this work. Under the peace settlement signed by the Armenia and Azerbaijan, large areas of Karabakh were ceded to the Azeris, who immediately stepped up their efforts to eradicate the material culture of Armenians, Christian Armenia, from the territories now under their control. As a result, the world watched as Armenian inscriptions were sent blasted away, churches and monasteries were bulldozed by the military of Azerbaijan. In an especially sinister political campaign, Azerbaijan, and it must be said, their allies and clients in the West, have launched an aggressive disinformation campaign to cast doubt on the historical presence of Armenians anywhere in the region. That campaign will be all the easier to prosecute with the material evidence of the Armenian presence completely eradicated. It has not come to that yet, thank the Lord. But the safety and integrity of more than 1,000 years of Armenian Christian cultures are hanging by slimest of threads, completely reliant on the protection of peacekeepers from Russia. The challenge before us is first and foremost a challenge of awareness. We need to work through every institution, national governments, ecumenical and interfaith organizations, the churches themselves, the NGOs, and the United Nations to make the plight of Christian communities visible and concrete in the eyes of the world. Our other challenge, of course, is to stand with these faith communities in their time of trial, to speak up on their behalf, and to act in such a way as to preserve their spiritual, material, and human resources. I thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.